The church is sort of like 1700s, but the earliest records of Christians being in this place go back to the 1200s. So there's people who've been in this area, on this place, near the river for over 1,000 years praying. So very much the people that participate in the life of the community of St Mary's are people who are following a great tradition of people living and praying and worshipping together in Sunbury.
Saviour meek, pursue thy road with palms and scatters.
I think one of the most important reasons why someone might want to explore coming to church today is the sense that they can come and be who they are in a community. So much in a modern life, you're either part of a club where everyone is either similar to your age or have a similar interest, whereas the church is a community of people of vast ages, vast experiences, and it's very little places that you can go in a modern life where you can just be a person in community. So the spiritual life, the Christian life, is something that can enhance our life, and it's something I would encourage people to explore, to see, put their foot in and taste it and see what it's like.
Some people in Sunbury know that Jesus rose from the dead, and others people don't know that Jesus rose from the dead. Some people believe that he did, and some people believe that he didn't. But what everyone in Sunbury believes and knows, if they have common sense in this age of science, is that Jesus was born in Palestine, he lived in Palestine, he died in Palestine, he died on the cross because some people didn't like what he was saying and doing.
Recently in the church, we had a local artist who very kindly displayed his biblical sculptures in the church, various figures like Moses and Abraham. And I wanted to bring those sculptures into church because so often when we think about the Bible, we think of words and we think of a book, and which is great, but there is something more to it than that, and to be able to, for people to come and touch sculptures, a representation of people like Moses or Ruth. So the arts are a wonderful medium for us to discover more about ourselves, and I believe they're a wonderful medium to help us discover about God. We've been developing what we call liturgical dance. We encourage people who have an ability and a talent to dance to use that in a spiritual way. So in the church we've been creating workshops with people to engage with that, and also as a way of expressing our belief through dance, and that's been a very interesting, exciting experience for a lot of people. A lot of people find it difficult sometimes to talk, whereas they can activate their life through their bodies. Maypole dancing in church. Now, often when we think of maypole, we think about people dancing around a pole outside church or on some village green, and we think of it as a pagan activity, and it has all those kind of roots. But at St Mary's, what I wanted to do was actually bring maypole dancing into church for a number of reasons. One reason is because I think it's a wonderful cultural activity for people to come together to dance, and something that has a history to it, and something about community.
This is the very, very first church that I was ever invited to do maypole dancing in some years ago, when we did a Sunday morning service in here. And then we came back into the school session. This is the second year we've done it. It's an ideal venue for maypole dancing. It's absolutely superb.
We came down tonight to have some fun. We came down last year with our sons and we had a really good time, so we really wanted to come back this year and have some fun. And you loved it, didn't you? You had a really good dance.
And I need it.
You were. And what colour ribbon did we have, Josh?
Blue.
We had a blue
Light
ribbon.
blue.
A light blue one. And it was excellent fun, wasn't it? And were you giggling? Yeah. And what was your favourite bit?
Giggling.
Giggling, that was your favourite bit, was it?
Tonight's a wonderful example because you've got people who are completely new to it, a lot of people who've been doing it regularly through their dance clubs and festivals they go to, people who've been doing my dance workshops over and over again here, and people who've never met me before here, and they're all working together and it's integrating and working very well.
Sometimes I think people that have been to church for a long period of time, they forget how daunting it can be to go into a church for the first time, where perhaps they're not sure how they're going to be received and are they going to do the right thing, will there be anyone that know. It's a big step for people to make, but more often not when people make that step, they find that that step was worth making. I think we live in a very distrustful age, and so people are very wary of groups and institutions and churches, and so I think one of the things is being able for people to overcome that and to just try and experience something.
To navigate with Oscar in church is quite difficult, and in life we've got to navigate as well. We need to navigate through life. Jesus, in all that he said and did, was someone who tried to show us the way to go in life, to help us navigate in life so we don't go down too many dead ends or one-way streets the wrong way round. So we can get through life and find what it is to be loved and what it is to love God and love each other.
I would say that church is like a family. So just in the way in which life changes all the time, but family life has always been a part of our life, part of community life. And the church is a part of family life. So it's not about something being old or new, it's just something that is.
Let us give thanks to the Lord our God.
It is right to give thanks and praise.
We're all on a journey in life, but it's a journey that we have to make on our own, but it's a journey that we also make together. So I would invite people to come to church as a way of walking further in their own journey in life, their spiritual journey. Church is an opportunity for people to step back in a quiet moment to reflect upon their life, to get a bearing, a compass of what's important for them, where they want to go, and being able to be in a context where they can do that in an environment where there is acceptance. We see that young people as not simply being the church of the future, but being the church of the present. So for us it's always a great pleasure to have children amongst us. So we try to find ways in which we can engage and help them to engage with the church. So we create services which they can feel at home in. When I think about the future of St Mary's, I'd like St Mary's to continue to be a place where people can find a home and belong, and where more people would do so. I'd like the future of St Mary's to be a place where people can come together and be community, where people can come together and find the deepest part of their self through their engagement with God and with each other, to come to the point of realising that we live better with God and we live better with ourselves if we live with each other. So in the future, as the time goes on, I'd want the church to grow, with more people coming and belonging, and I would want people to grow in their love of God and love of each other, and through that grow in their sense and experience of community life.
Right, boys and girls, please get your instruments and line up here for me. Come and line up this side. Come this way.
In the past, the church has become something separate from the community in which it's been placed.
Go! 5 bananas on the banana tree. 3 for you and 2 for me.
And one of the things I always find surprising is that when new people come to church, they discover people that they know. Perhaps they've known for years, but they never realised that they came to church. And that's always an interesting conversation to see go on, to realise that to come to church, to be a Christian, to share in community life isn't some kind of strange occupation, but it's simply a part of life, which we all grow and become more fully the people that God wants us to be.
These children have been learning together about the Christian faith and about the life and resurrection of Jesus. He gave us this special service to bring us together as his family, to remember all he has done for us, and to receive him into our lives as we share the bread and wine. Now God calls us and invites us to say yes to him.
And one of the things that Jesus did was offer hospitality to people and encourage people to discover themselves and to discover the truth, but he never told them what to do. He created the space for them to discover what to do, and that's what we need to continue to do at St. Mary's.